Welcome to the Presence Podcast. In this series, we're going to look at how we can each encounter the presence of God more effectively and how God's presence is always with us.
A snapshot from Psalm 139. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there, your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. Recently, I was standing alone in a busy shopping centre food court waiting for a friend to arrive. And as I was there, I was observing the groups of people that had gathered in that space. Scattered around the seating area were lots of people like me that were just there alone. Some obviously waiting for a friend, while others just seemed to be taking some time out, completely unhurried, gazing into the vast expanse of the food court, taking in all the sights, the sounds, and the smells that were around them. Others weren't there alone, they were sharing a table with friends or family. Their focus wasn't on the larger group around them, but on the few in front of them. Some of these were in deep conversation, some were laughing, others looked like the weight of the world sat upon their shoulders. In other places, parents with young kids were chasing toddlers around, trying to get them to sit still and to eat their lunch. There were kids crawling under tables, over tables, chasing each other. It was just chaotic. Then there was the group completely transfixed to their phone or tablet, headphones in with the world blocked out. They were completely unaware of anything else going on around them, and I'm convinced that the food court could have emptied that day and most of these people would have had no idea. As I stood in that moment, the thing that struck me was this, that everybody in that food court was in my presence, as I was in theirs. Yet most didn't recognize it. And it's like that with God. As the psalmist says, where can I flee from your presence? We live our life out in the presence of God. His presence is always with us. Just sometimes we're so focused on what we have in front of us or the pressing needs of the moment or the tasks that we have to achieve that we don't recognize it. But the reality is that every moment, every task, every interaction exists and plays out in the presence of God. The uplifting thing is that we can know and experience God's presence in the quiet, in the busyness, in the mundane and the spectacular, in our homes, our workplaces, our recreation spaces, and on our commute to work, just as much as we can in the intentional times of worship or gathering with others. You know, right now my life's really full. I'm working a full-time job that I love. Chrissy, my wife, is also in a job that she loves, but her work is shift work, meaning that generally she works at the times that I don't. Together we balance family life with 5 kids, which right now means everything from driving lessons, taking kids to work or sport practice, right down to changing nappies. At night, we're facilitating homework, making sure everyone is fed, clothed, and that everyone remembers to clean their teeth before they get into bed. Life is full, and right now, the thing that is hardest to find is time alone. Time to sit, to ponder, to reflect. And so I've had to learn to find those moments in the everyday rhythms of life, the times to be reminded of God's constant presence with me, times to stop, to give thanks, to ask for help, to submit my life again to His Lordship. One of the things that has helped significantly for me in this season is to see prayer not as a time that needs to be set aside or a particular place that I need to go, but rather as an unfolding conversation, just part of the everyday rhythm of life. Rather than feeling like I need to adopt a particular stance or use particular words, I just take time to capture the moment in conversation. As I'm driving, I might pray, God, today's not a good day and I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Would you help me? On my way to have a tricky conversation with someone, I might say, Lord, I'm just out of ideas here. Please give me the wisdom that I need in this next conversation. As I tuck my kids into bed at night, I might stop for a moment and just utter some words of thanks for my family. Often these prayers aren't long, they're not complicated, but they're a constant reminder that God loves it when He's not compartmentalized in our life, but is just a part of the everyday rhythms, whatever they are. The Apostle Paul writes to the Thessalonian church, always be joyful, never stop praying. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Jesus Christ. What a great invitation and reminder about God's desire for a constant dialogue with us. I have a friend who saved that verse as the wallpaper on his phone. Every time he opened his phone, it prompted him just to pray a short prayer to keep that dialogue going with God. This week, why don't you practice the ongoing conversation with God? Time to give thanks, time to ask for help, time just to process the frustration, the pain, or the confusion. Wherever you are right now, why don't you just over the next 30 seconds, just dialogue with God. Tell him what's going on in your life right now. I reckon God will love being invited to be a more regular part of the everyday moments and rhythms of your life.
Thanks for joining us today in our Presence podcast. We hope you picked up a thought or an idea that might just help you come a little closer to God and sense His presence in your everyday life.